make dating advice videos for men on TikTok, and in my comments, every video, every guy always says, no woman will look at you, give you the time of day if they don't find you attractive, if you're not tall, if you don't make a lot of money. You will have no success with women unless you have one of those things or all of those things. And I think that is very telling.
Let's see. What else is telling? Go ahead and repeat. What she said? Yeah, that's what I thought anyway. Let's see what she has to say.
So, for example, because this gets heady, I'm even confusing myself as I'm talking. But say we live in these circles, right? Everybody has their own circle, which I wish I had a box because that would be way more fitting. But, okay, actually, this is a rectangle, but I don't have a box. Anyway, so we live in this. Okay, that's too distracting. We're going back to the circle. We all have our circle.
Yes, we do. But if you're feeling bad about missing her point of the advice that she gives out to men, that's kind of your fault for expecting one. She already said she's confusing herself. So seriously, what did you expect?
I'm going out. I'm going to go grab dinner with Derek, okay?
Okay.
With Derek?
Yeah, I heard you.
Do you not care that I'm going to get dinner with Derek, a man?
No, it's fine. I trust you. We're married.
We're going to get drinks. Like, I might have like a espresso martini, and so will he.
Have fun.
Are you not mad that, like, I'm going out to dinner with another guy? You should be mad.
No, I'm not insecure.
Do you not care?
Girl boss.
Well, no. You're supposed to care and say, no, honey, you're not going out with a
But
guy.
then you'd get angry if I got mad.
Well, no. Like, you're supposed to care. You're supposed to be like, no, you're not going out.
But I don't care.
Well, how can you not care? And that's an argument for the next 2 hours. And yes, I know this was probably meant as a joke, but it kind of shows you cannot win either way. And if this happens in real life, she's probably just hungry. So take her out for a hamburger, for a steak or something. Oh, wait, she could be a vegan, so if that's the case, yes, she looks good, but that's no reason to marry her.
Can everyone please chime in on this? I need to know what you think. So, personally, if I go on a date with a guy and we're about to go on a second date, I think that you should not talk to anyone else. I think that we should just talk to each other. And if you want to talk to anyone else, don't talk to me. That's personally what I think. I'm 29, so I date with much intention, as anyone else should. Maybe if you were like 24, okay, around, but I personally, that's how I feel. And now we're so-called crazy and like jealous for that. It's like, no, no. Does anyone else think like this, or is this, am I crazy? I can't.
And that's perfectly fine. I can't either. And probably so many other men can't. Also, cause they were looking at you when you were 24. Why would any of them take you? Seriously? Now, just because you're 29 when you had to go through your have a round face. When you're 24, oh my God, but I am a completely different girl. No, you're exactly the same, only 5 years older.
To those of you that keep commenting on, oh, she's probably single. Yeah, that's because I've seen literally every single side to men. Married men, men in relationships, men with multiple girlfriends, men with multiple wives. I've seen literally every single side to men, and that is why I choose to be single. May the best one win. Seriously, with the dates that I go on and the gifts that I receive, it's a race. Actions speak louder than words. I'm telling you, a lot of girls that you see are single, they choose to be single. It is not hard to go out there and settle. It is not that hard to go out there and manage to get yourself into a relationship. Trust me, I know. I used to be a serial dater. It was so easy for me to hop into relationships. You can literally ask any one of my friends. Oh, Danielle always has a boyfriend. This is the longest that I've been single. That's because I'm at a point in my life where the next person I'm going to be with is going to be my husband.
Sure, you are, but why would you even want a husband? When you're happier being single, and you're single by choice, your choice. I'm sure not others, and I really think you don't understand what you're saying When you're saying, I'm a serial dater, that's definitely not a flex, cause the whole point of dating is for you to find a long-term relationship, not to go out, have fun, meet new people, get some free food, make new friends, or whatever else you think of being a serial dater doesn't make you good at dating. Or a good partner. It kind of makes you a failure. It would be like me saying, I pay for it, and I only sleep with the girls on the street corner, cause I know it makes me a good listener.
Being a single mom is so wild for so many reasons, but especially when it comes to dating, because a guy will come out and be like, hey, let me buy you dinner, which is like so nice, so sweet. But then he'll be like, and by the way, I'm like so great with kids. Like I was raised by a single mom myself, or I have siblings. And by the way, my mom was a doula. Like so unnecessary. And also like, you're never meeting my kids. Like, what are you talking about?
Still never explain what she healed from, but hey, I have to admit she looks, healed. And I also have to admit that I used to judge people before this video, like the ones that would just stop in the middle of the sidewalk and started talking to buildings. I used to think they're crazy, but now I understand that they three things that I can't see because I am not healed. Oh man, it must be rough living in the West, cause I live in Bucharest, Romania, right? And as hard as it is, people don't carry all this drama around that they need to heal from. In fact, I did ask a few girls. I know if they're on a healing journey and they started looking at me like, I stopped in the middle of the sidewalk and started talking to buildings, UPS and Downs, I guess it's what I'm trying to say.
Men don't really approach women that much anymore for a lot of different reasons, I think. But personally, I want to be approached. I would love to meet someone in real life versus online. And as long as it's a respectful approach, I'm always going to be nice. Even if I'm not interested, I'm never going to be rude to the guy. But I think as women, we have to give a signal that we are interested before most men will feel like it's okay to like actually approach you. Personally, I'm not going to approach a man. That's not me, but I will make it clear that I'm interested. I will pretty much give him an open invitation to approach me through eye contact, smiling at him, physically like getting closer to him in whatever vicinity that we're in. And if he doesn't take that invitation, then I would just assume he's taken or he doesn't have the confidence to come up to me, which just means he's not for me. I'm gonna try harder to meet people in real life.
Well, good for you. That's actually a good thing. He's either taken or he doesn't have the confidence to approach you. Sure, those are valid points, but there is a third one that no one really wants to hear. He might not be interested.
You know when you're on a first date with someone and they're like, what's the first date that you've ever been on? And you're like, how much do I want to share with this stranger? My story is not the worst first date, but this was the most recent. So we're having drinks before dinner. And throughout this date, he kept making these comments, basically insulting cats. And, oh, look who, okay, right on cue. Look at this. Now, as you can see, I'm a cat person. I have 2 cats that I love. I'm not expecting everyone to be as obsessed with cats as I am, but knowing that I have 2 cats and I love my cats like they're my kids.
Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't like yes. Then she said, well, in that case, I can't date you, and he left. So for her, that's the worst date she's ever been on, at least most recent. And I guess I should feel sorry for or something. Could be just me, but I don't really care. He was rude. He was trying to touch you. He was trying to kiss you. He followed you home. In any of those cases, yes, I will be on your side 100%. But this, I don't really care.
So what is it that women need to do to be able to take a walk in the woods or at the park or anywhere actually in the street? What is it we need to do to be able to be safe? Because what a lot of men don't know and do not even consciously are aware of is that when we walk, we get comments, we get looks, we get remarks, we get all sorts of really inappropriate kind of things said to us, no matter how we're dressed. Mind you, is like 1,000 degrees right now. So, you know, I'm not gonna cover up just because there's someone else who can join me in my walk. But basically, like, I should I cover up? What is it that we need to do to be safe? Because honestly, this is something that men do not have to deal with, and it's very unfair.
Speak for yourself. I get looks all the time. I shouldn't be wearing my pajamas outside, but I get looks all the time. And it makes me feel unsafe, and I cry about it all the time. That you even talking about, there's no one around, you're on a walk right now. You're safe no matter what you're wearing. No one is even saying change what you're wearing, but maybe if you would focus more on your walk instead of your hate for men, you would actually enjoy it more.
When you heal, you can't tolerate unhealed people. And this isn't saying, you know, that you think that you're better than they are or you're judging them in any way. It's quite the opposite. You understand where they are on their journey and you respect it, but you can see everything. You have so much awareness now, and you can just, you know why they're acting the way they're acting, why they're saying the things that they're saying. You can see right through them and their traumas. You can just everything. And they can't see it. And that's frustrating. And you can't make them see it because they have to do the work themselves in order to be able to see that.
Still never explain what she healed from, but hey, I have to admit she looks, healed. And I also have to admit that I used to judge people before this video, like the ones that would just stop in the middle of the sidewalk and started talking to buildings. I used to think they're crazy, but now I understand that they three things that I can't see because I am not healed. Oh man, it must be rough living in the West. Cause I live in Bucharest, Romania, right? And as hard as it is, people don't carry all this drama around that they need to heal from. In fact, I did ask a few girls. I know if they're on a healing journey and they started looking at me like, I stopped in the middle of the sidewalk and started talking to buildings, UPS and Downs, I guess it's what I'm trying to say.
Genuinely, I really don't know how women live in a house with men and children, because I've been living alone for 5 years, and I know this is like totally TMI, but my stomach, pristine, okay? My movements, unmatched. Have a man in your house for 2 days? Why? Why? I feel like my stomach doesn't want me to be in a relationship. I don't know. I just feel like I'm my prettiest, best, most healthy self when I'm in my own rhythm.
Oh, for sure. I wasn't sure, but the laughter convinced me, because I was thinking to myself, there is no way she has effeminist in her account name and she's gonna be all against men and families and relationships. And sure, I mean, you can make the argument, yeah, but it's not even the effeminist in her cow name. It's all about bowel movements. What is she gonna do with a man in her house? Sell her toilet or not worry about taking her antidepressants on time?
If a woman dates poor, you tell her to find better. If she dates rich, you call her a gold digger. If she focuses on her career, she's too ambitious. If she stays at home, she's lazy. If she cares about her appearance, she's vain. If she doesn't, she let herself go. If she knows her worth, she's arrogant. If she questions it, she's insecure. No matter what she does, you have something to say. So she might as well do exactly what she wants.
Well, that's new. I've never heard of such a thing. A woman who does what she wants. Didn't I posted enough women crying because they did what they wanted and then they found out there's, I don't know, consequences to their actions?
I went on a date with a 56-year-old man. Now I know what you're thinking. Leah, why? Why not? I was bored, I was curious, and honestly, I wanted to see what a man with a retirement account and no Snapchat would bring to the table. Let me tell you, there is a reason why a 56-year-old man is dating a 26-year-old woman. A 56-year-old man has the same audacity as a 26-year-old man, just with more money.
Have you ever noticed that pretty women are much more common than handsome men? I dare you to go out and you will see that there's plenty of attractive women, but it's much more rare to see a good-looking guy. Not to get deep, but could it be because society puts way much more pressure on women to look good? Makeup, skincare, fashion, plastic surgery, some of the biggest industries out there, and they're targeted mostly towards women. Men, on the other hand, they've realized they can simply just rely on natural charm, humor, money, or simply just vibes. And society lets them. Women will take them anyways. So, is it really easier to find a pretty woman, or do women just put in more effort?
Well, if you put in more effort, then that will make it easier. I guess now, it also depends on what you call effort. I could probably go out and buy some clothes that show cleavage. I mean, clothes that are body conscious. But I wouldn't exactly call that effort, and also probably those clothes won't make me prettier. I guess I'll just have to call myself unattractive and go on about my day. And God forbid I'll ever look for a wife. I'll pay one of them baddies for an hour to just walk hands in hands with me on the street, and I'm set for life. I'll end up having a line behind me of women willing to, just wife me up.
Catching your boyfriend's cheating, however, I think I made a mistake. So I got a message from a girl. She's since blocked me and I can't find the message, so I'm just going to have to give you a baseline. She said, my boyfriend was unfaithful for me 2 years ago, but he started showing signs again. Can you test him? I'm sure it's just my head playing tricks on me, but just want to make sure. Sure. Went through this whole loyalty test. He was loyal. He didn't even reply to me until I messaged him again and he said, look, I've got a girlfriend. I don't want to be disrespectful, but you got to stop messaging me. I was like, oh, okay, no worries. Thinking, oh, right, he passed the test. This is perfect. Sent it back to the girl and she's gone, oh, for fuck's sake, can you not, pissed off? And I was like, hang on. What? Why are you pissed off at this? He was loyal. She was like, oh, message him again. I done some digging. It's actually his ex. So whoever his current girlfriend is, if you find messages on his phone from me asking if he's single, sorry, basically. His ex has done a number. He's from Northern Ireland. The ex's name is Sophie. That's all I'm going to give. Ex's name is Sophie. Is there anything else I can give? He's got brown hair, apparently. I don't know what's true and what's not anymore. Yeah, so if your boyfriend's got an ex called Sophie and you're from Northern Ireland, I think, yeah, his ex has tried to get me to get you to break up.
Moral of the story is, if you ever thought TikTok trends are anything other than dumb, here's your proof you're simply wrong. People watch way too many reality shows, like Love Island or Temptation Island, whatever that show is called, and they try to reenact them in real life, without considering that 99% of those shows are scripted.
Next time that you think that oppression on women is not real, do me a huge favor and try to think of one law that controls a man's body. I'll give you some time to do that.
Well, I couldn't think of a single one, to be fair. I wasn't really trying to come up with one, because I was just thinking about how just a few hundred kilometers from where I live, some few millions of men are enjoying the freedom of, well, being men. Since I wasn't able to come up with one, I'll just share a fun fact instead. Did you guys know that a few beauty companies have contracts with hospitals? When babies are born and they get circumcised, they take those tiny pieces of skin and turn it into beauty products. For women, one of those products being moisturizing cream for their face. But no, I could not think of a single law.
Anytime you see a beautiful girl dating a hideous man who has no money, just know it's because at one point in that man's life, a truly gorgeous woman with very low self-esteem and possible daddy issues was tricked into dating him, and then another baddie saw that baddie dating him and assumed there must be like some secret sauce going on, and it just became like an MLM trickle down of baddies being confused as to why other baddies were with this guy, and him being like equally confused, and then slowly gaining confidence because all these beautiful women are somehow interested in him and he can't figure out why, when at the end of the day it was just because like one hot girl saw another hot girl, and like buying a trendy purse, they just had to have this man.
I don't know if this video is more insulting to women or men. So let me get this straight. Anytime a woman dates a man that's not rich or conventionally hot in your eyes, okay, it's because some other hot girl with daddy issues got confused first. Are you okay? Have you ever considered that that man might have treated these women well? He shows up, he's consistent, he makes her laugh. I have a feeling that if the best man in the world walked right past you, you wouldn't even notice him because you're focusing on the wrong things.
Well, she would notice him if he's holding hands with a different woman. But then again, she would have to be a baddie. And no, I'm afraid that video was way more insulting to women than men, or at least to the ones that call themselves, you know, baddies. He was pretty much saying that baddies don't think for themselves. They rely on the black sheep to lead the way.
I just watched an entire TikTok on how to get engaged within a year. And I feel like I need to offer some insight here because I've been married twice. And before you start saying that is a red flag, stop and think about how many people have wanted to spend the rest of their life with you. There are a couple things that have made guys really want to be with me. 1, I will never turn you down in the bedroom. Number 2, loyalty. If you are my man, I'm 1000% loyal to you.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You are divorced twice, though. And obviously, neither of your 2 marriages was ever your fault. Cause, let's face it, how can it ever be your fault? But maybe you're really not the one who should be giving relationship advice to others.
I'm gonna make people angry today. No, actually, I should specify. I'm gonna make men who pretend to be feminists angry today. So here we go. If you're complaining about women's ick list because you think there are things on there that should not be, please stop talking.
Well, that makes it perfect. Because I don't pretend to be one of a feminist man. And I will never be, but worry not. She will explain the equalist part, and it will all make sense.
Let's talk about this because I've been getting more than one comment like these under my last post. So what if we swap out ick for personal boundaries? What we're basically saying here is I accept and respect personal boundaries as long as they make sense to me and I can understand them. Now, technically, we all know that's not how personal boundaries...
No, technically, we're talking about the equalist and not about the what if...
I hate to admit when people are right, but when I was 21, I got a tattoo on the back of my arm and I showed it to my dad. And he said, I don't even need to be mad about this because there's 2 options here. You're either going to hate that tattoo and be stuck with it for life, or you're going to hate it and you're going to have to get it removed, which is the most painful experience. So either way, you lose. And I was like, no, I'm going to love this tattoo forever, Dad. Guess what I'm doing at 27? Removing this tattoo. And it is in fact the most painful experience. So I guess dads are just always right.
So maybe next time you're thinking about doing something dumb, ask your dad first. And yes, sure, there's absolutely a chance you would have loved that tattoo forever. But something tells me that's the type of tattoo that is really hard to love.
Is there actually something wrong with me? I'm 36 and I'm still single. And before I was confident, I used to always spiral with questions like, what's wrong with me? Why hasn't it happened to me yet? Or like I'd go places and think, oh, this would be really lovely with someone special. And then you kind of get that pang of loneliness when that happens. And sometimes I do worry, like, what if it never happens for me? But I'll tell you what I've learned. Being single in your 30s doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you're flawed. And when I learned to be alone without feeling lonely, that's true freedom and happiness. So just because you haven't met someone yet doesn't mean that you never will. Doesn't mean that I never will. Sometimes people say I'm too picky or that I've got high standards, but I would rather be single and content than stuck with someone I can barely tolerate. Imagine sleeping beside someone you can barely tolerate every night. So if you're single, you're in your 30s and you're questioning yourself, just stop. You don't need fixing.
Of course you don't. You already said you're not broken or flawed. You're perfect. Imagine sleeping next to someone you can barely tolerate. That always seems to be the argument when you're trying to convince everyone else how happier you are being single. And no, obviously, I'm not saying that's not a solid argument. But at the same time, the argument is never imagine sleeping next to someone who's a good man, a good husband and a good father to your kids. In your case, a good stepfather. Never mind your kids. Who even cares about them when it's all about your happiness?
Now, this is not me in any way, shape, or form defending cheating, but the main reason I find that women end up cheating is because they feel a lack of appreciation. They feel a lack of appreciation and a lack of love and support from their partner. And so they go seek that attention, they go seek that validation, they go seek that support elsewhere.
Yeah, that's you actually defending cheating. You don't feel loved, you don't feel appreciated. It happens, move on. Leave that relationship and find someone who will love you and appreciate you. If you only stay in that relationship for you to have an excuse for cheating, then sorry, but you're not a good guy.
The wrong man can absolutely steal your youth, steal your joy, steal your happiness, and overall just make you have a massive glow down. Do you ever notice that when a woman breaks up with a man that was incredibly toxic, she glows up and all of a sudden she takes better care of herself, she has more opportunities coming her way, and all of a sudden her life just seems incredibly better?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Women even win the lottery without even playing the lottery. What, you don't believe that women will just glow when they leave a relationship? Well, let's see if she'll manage to convince you.
If you ever need a sign to never talk to a man again, this is it. Your nights will end with your face and tears looking like this.
Being older than 25 and looking younger than 25 is a flex.
No, not really. You could be 26 looking 24. That's not a flex. Now, on the other hand, me being 45, looking 55, now that's a flex.
I'm a fan believer of if you want to know if someone really likes you and actually will do anything for you, see if they will wake up in the morning for you. Because if you ask to see them for breakfast and they say no, chuck them in the bin, honestly.
That's actually a good advice. I'm not gonna take it, but it's a good advice. It's probably from that same book that you all read, 100 Ways to Keep You Single. Test your partner nonstop, push him and his patience to his limit, and you're gonna find yourself in a beautiful long-term relationship with yourselves and your cats.
I've woken up and my body has chosen violence on me this morning. I've woken up with a stifling backache on my left and my hip is in bits. I can barely walk, my hip hurts so much. I didn't realise I was 85 years of age. I'm 25 years old and currently I feel like I need a chiropractor and a hip replacement. I'm not built for this life, seriously.
25, seriously? Man, you must have had some rough life.
Guys, I can't even cope. Look at this picture of me on the tube. Oh, good God.
Never mind. That explains everything in that picture. Your body is leaning right, but if at any point you switch sides, there's your answer. Another answer could be also lay off the booze for a while. You look like at least 35.
Is anyone else just so bored of dating? Because I'm tired and I actually can't be asked. The places that I go for the people that are my age that I want to meet, I just don't enjoy. Like I've come home early, my friends are still out. I'm just tired, I'm bored. Like I'd rather sit in, stay in. I've stuck on Gogglebox. But then if I don't go out, I'm not going to meet anyone. Like I personally don't like dating apps. They're not for me. I just don't want forced conversation. I want to meet someone like naturally. But how am I going to if I don't like going out? Like I like going out for about an hour and then I'm just over it and I want to be back in bed and my feet hurt and I'd rather eat food. Yeah.
What to do? I don't even think I got the point you're trying to make. But sure, you want to go out on dates, but you don't want to go out on dates. You want to go on dates, but not for more than an hour? I don't see that as a problem. That's actually 59 minutes and 30 seconds more than I need, but let me be serious for a second. You don't like dating apps? That's great. Date the guy that is serving you coffee in Starbucks. Date a guy that is delivering pizza at your door. Date one of your coworkers. Date the guys at your gym. You won't, and I know you won't, because you say you don't like going out, and I get that. But for a girl that doesn't like going out, you're shaking it way too often in nightclubs. So maybe the problem with you in dating is that no guy can actually take you seriously.
This is the only video you'll ever need to call in your divine love, your twin flame, your soulmate, your cosmic reflection, etc. First, you must know that what you seek is also seeking you. So that should keep some hope alive. Second, you must become what you desire. Oftentimes what we do with love is we'll take a person and we'll try to mold them into the perfect puppet to be exactly what we desire in a partner. That's never going to happen. That is usurping, the opposite of love. Usurping means to control. Love means to be free. So if you do not know what you desire, you cannot attract your cosmic reflection. So we're going to write a list of 5 different sections. Using a pen and paper is always more powerful, but if you want to use your notes app, you can do that too. You're going to split the page or the notes app up into 5 different sections. First section is values, then vibe, then daily routine, communication, and then a section for love. So we are creating the ideal partner for you.
Yeah, okay. I've heard enough for me, the perfect partner for me. How about you? How come you didn't get the perfect partner? Now that I don't appreciate you teaching me how I can find my perfect partner. But where's yours? Perception is values. You're talking about my value or yours. Because I can see yours is $15.99 a month. But now it all makes sense. You never manifested your perfect partner because you are always manifesting being a 3, 4, and having a POF account. Okay, got it. Men that don't cheat. What are you doing right now? Well, first of all, not you. Second of all, whatever we want. How did you find us anyway? Are you not the type that says all men cheat? Anyway, just out of curiosity, any of you remember how guys used to put some metal or plastic tiny little balls on their D? I'm just curious about the sound they'll make when you put them 2 together. But even better, what happens if you replace those tiny balls with a magnet? One of you guys should try it and let us know. Take one for the team. I'm only joking. Don't do it. Don't do that. If you do, don't blame me for that. It's not my fault. And if you do, let us know.
I've actually decided that I'm going to stay single forever because just the thought of dating repulses me. I don't want to be close to anyone. I don't want to have to text someone and ask how they are or what they've been up to. Or for someone to ask me what I've been up to. What have you been up to today? Just make me some dinner.
Okay, so the problem is not that you don't want to date anymore. The problem is you're afraid he's not going to make you dinner. Well, at least you're consistent about not dating, right? Wrong.
I'm going to share this because it never happens to me. I went to a hardware store and asked a man if he could help me find some screws. You could say I went to a hardware store and asked a man for a screw. Yes, I did. Sorry. Anyway, he asked me if I was at uni, if I was doing my uni room. Because I'm putting up a curtain pole. I was like, no. Then he asked me if I was doing it myself. So I asked him if he wanted to come around and help, and the rest is history.
So you are pretty much in the 7th heaven just because some guy flirted with you. The rest is history. Well, it only happened like yesterday. How about the first part? With you not dating, or him making you dinner, instead of you asking him if he had some screws, maybe you should have asked me if you can cook. Who am I kidding? I would also choose screwing around over food.
I'd like to clarify something for all the very angry men who have been commenting on my last video about alpha women. First of all, the term alpha, I coined from Zach there, our buddy. I don't normally have to go around telling people I'm an alpha. You're right. They just know. And about the levels of being equal or higher, this has nothing to do with riches and status. I mean, yeah, that would be great. Luxury, for sure. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm referring to is capability. We want a man who is capable of taking the lead, right? So we don't have to all the time. So when I get home and I'm exhausted, I can turn around and tell him that. And what I can hear in response is one of the phrases a man could say, which is, I got this. I got you. Dinner's ready in 30. And then I can turn around and do the same thing for him when he's tired. We want a partner, but in order for that to happen, we have to be equal. And if you're not, then you're not a man, you're a dependent. So stop getting so insulted, because if you are, you're just admitting to the fact that you are one of those insecure men. So I would suggest that you stop commenting. This page is not for you. And the thousands of women who have agreed with me goes to show that I'm right.
Actually, no. It only shows that some other women agree with you. Unfortunately for you, just because some people agree with you, it doesn't mean you're right. Now, maybe in the insecure man you say I am. I disagree with you. The first point I disagree with is this: just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I feel insulted, doesn't mean I'm angry. The second point, I disagree with, you're talking about your man without having one. And the final point I disagree with is when you say you're gonna have his back the way he has yours. I know you're trying to look feminine, but call yourself a warrior. You have that in your account name, and you call yourself an alpha. I admit that's a good show and it makes me laugh, but it is just a show.
I'm about to tell you why Instagram is a much better dating app than dating apps are. And if you're smart and savvy with how you use Instagram, it's a one-stop shop. It's all you need for all the things. So today I was looking at a restaurant that I love, so I wanted to find photos of the food to show my friend. So I was not on the actual Instagram account of the restaurant, I was on the location. And when you go onto the location, it'll show you all the photos of people who have posted a photo with that restaurant as the location. So as I'm looking through the food, what do you think? I find a cute guy who posted a photo there. And it was a super old photo, but whatever, I like it anyway. What do you think happens next? Within minutes, this man follows me and is now in my DMs. It's that simple. So now you get to find people who go to places you already like. And now you know you have like favorite restaurants in common. Or even if it's not a favorite, you at least know that they have somewhat of good taste and they could take you there instead of figuring out the guessing game with guys on Hinge. Do it. Trust me.
Nah, I'm good. I don't even trust myself most of the times. And you want me to trust you. Nah, whoever heard of a somewhat attractive girl liking some guy on social media and he will not be on her DMS? I know, right? That never happens.
I know that we think having sugar babies is like not normal. Think about it. Do you really expect a man who has it all and the funds, maybe not the looks, but the funds, do you really expect him to go without? No! Men love women. Men are always gonna get theirs. And they know that they have to pay for a beautiful woman. They know that goddess women are expensive. They know that women with high standards are literally the moment. They know that they don't value anything that they don't work really hard for. Know that they don't want a cheap woman who doesn't demand stuff. Know that they don't want someone who's hard to get, but they do want someone who's hard to keep. I don't care if your family doesn't know, or maybe your sisters don't know that you ended up dating a man in his 50s when you were 22. You can tell me. We all do it. And there is a reason for that. We're literally animals. We love our daddies. And the daddies love us.
We all do it, wink wink. Seriously, ma'am, you understand you're no longer 22, right? Goddesses and beautiful women? And what kind of weird broken up mirror you have in your house? Men love women. Yeah, I agree with that. Men are gonna get theirs. Yeah, I agree with that as well. The only difference is probably gonna be the price. But everything else you just said, you need to stay on your medication.
So, I wanted to talk about dating. So, the dating world. So I went on a date last night. We've been talking for like 2 weeks, a week and a half. So I drove an hour to see him. Dating today, got on with him, found him attractive, had loads in common, drove an hour to see him, and he dissed my car as soon as I pulled up. Rookie mistake. Was a nightmare the whole way we went around bowling and mini golf. moaned at me the whole way round, told me how to hit the ball, accused me of dubbing the results. Like, we couldn't have clashed anymore. Like, I don't understand how that can happen, how you can click with someone and then it was just a nightmare. It's really put me off dating, and it's just horrific. I just hate dating. Dating in your 30s is just a nightmare. I feel like people who find their one so much younger are so lucky, because this dating world today with social media and everything, it's so difficult, and people are just so, what's the word, like they presume like I'm gonna pull up in a bloody Audi A1 or Mercedes A-Class. Like, no, people need bringing down to earth a little bit.
Okay, well, you wanted to talk about dating. Let's go ahead. You don't need to drive an Audi or a Mercedes. You need to learn how to take a joke. Maybe he did got a bit competitive, or maybe the date was ruined because you think he disrespected your car. So I think no matter what he did after, he disrespected your car would have been okay, because you felt hurt. You had your feelings hurt from the beginning. Maybe it's just personal to me. I don't know, because that would be something I would say, like, hey, did you drive here or did you push the car all the way? But that's okay. Learn how to take a joke that's coming from a guy that is driving a 2.003 Ford. So I pretty much know what I'm talking about. Dating is hard in your 30s. Well, I kept telling you it's gonna be like that when you were in your 20s. But who's ever gonna listen to a man when he's telling you what he wants?
If you're fat, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the talk you have to give guys before you meet up off a dating app of like, hey, just so you know, as a disclaimer, I'm fat. And they're like, no, you're not. You're beautiful. Like, I never said I was ugly. Women's worst fear is getting a dating app. Men's worst fear is the girl is gonna be fat. I'm just here to let you know that your nightmares are becoming a reality. Like, let's go get coffee.
Absolutely not. If that's my worst fear, which is not. But who cares? Why would I willingly walk into my own nightmare? That if it turns into a long-term relationship, it will never end. No, I'm good, no. You keep your fears and I'll keep mine.
What would you do if you came home and I was in your room?
I don't know what I did, but I somehow ended up on this side of TikTok, the hardworking girl side of TikTok. It took me a while to understand what she meant by over 50. At first, I thought she's over 50. And I was thinking to myself, man, those are some good filters. But no, she's looking for men over 50. I guess men over 50 have more money than younger men. I have no idea. Or maybe, as you can see on the screen from her page, it has a 50% discount, so who knows what she meant. Either way, I'm gonna stop guessing and move on.
Okay, POV, you go on a date, and he says, do you want to go for drinks? And I say, sir, I'm 3 years sober, we can't go for drinks. So he says, okay, let's go for coffee. And I'm like, coffee? I love coffee. I drink 8 coffees a day. Let's go for coffee. So we go for coffee. We meet at the coffee shop. Meet outside. Everything's good. Everything's swell, Brielle. And then this guy says, I actually don't drink coffee. And I'm like, I don't drink alcohol. You don't drink coffee. Off to a great start. Then I'm like, okay, well, there's tea. You can get something else if that's good. He's like, yeah, that's good. Great. Problem solved. Go up to order. I get my iced coffee, almond milk, everything's dandy. This guy orders steamed milk. And not just like skim milk, whole milk. Steamed, whole milk, and not with flavoring, just plain. And what do you do?
I don't know. Nothing. Get to know him. Get to know his character. Get to know his personality. Find out more about him. It doesn't matter what he drinks. If only matters if you're compatible and if you see each other long term. He wasn't seem to be bothered about your 3 years sober, so he wasn't judging you. He was just trying to get to know you. Also, how do you get so winded for just opening the door, even before you started going up the stairs? I know your story was tiring, but for us, not for you. You were the one telling the story.
What are you supposed to do on Friday nights when you just moved to a new country where you don't speak the language and you also just don't have any friends? Let me know.
Well, first of all, why are you walking alone at night? Did your sisterhood never told you that? That's dangerous. Men could approach you. Second of all, I don't know, use some common sense before you move to a new country and learn a few words. And third of all, I think this is the most important thing that you should do, is go back to where you came from.
Italian men to learn that ciao bella is not enough. I need, hey, let me buy you this Prada bag.
Oh, so men did approach you. Well, my bad, unfortunately. I have some bad news for you. Ciao bella is all you're gonna get. But I could be wrong if you're watching this from Italy. Tell me if I'm wrong or not.
Bro, tell me why. I literally just got a thing from TikTok saying that I have an account warning for multiple violations, and I haven't literally gotten reported for anything in so long, or like gotten anything taken down in so long. And anything that literally has been wrongfully taken down, like for the most ridiculous things that are obviously not happening in the videos that I post. So might not post for a little bit because now I'm scared, because what the, like, can someone literally help? Call the police. And look how gorgeous. Call the police for me, please, or just at TikTok or something, because what the heck? I didn't do anything. Right, Mary?
Right.
Exactly.
Right, Mary. No wrong. Those eyelashes alone should be against some rules, or maybe just against nature. And I'm pretty sure if butterflies could talk, they'll probably agree with me. But let me try to speak your language. So hopefully you're gonna understand me better. Maybe TikTok like literally gave you like a warning, you know, because like overusing the words, like literally like right, Mary, like right.
I'm 22 years old and I just got my license 2 weeks ago. I have no friends. I've made no accomplishments. I have no good memories. I have no relationship. I have nobody who wants to be in a relationship with me. I have nobody who genuinely likes me and cares about me and wants to spend time with me. I barely ever see my family or talk to my family, the very little family that I actually have. I live alone. The only thing that makes me happy is my cat and substances. And this is life. This is what being in your 20s is. That's great. It never gets better, also. People always told me it'd get better when I was like 15, 16. It never did. And it never will. And I think that's just something I'm gonna have to accept and live with. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes to everyone. I'm not really sure who told you that 20s are gonna be easy, but they're not meant to be easy. They're meant to prepare you for the life that's ahead of you. Some will have it easy, choosing fun over everything else. But they're waking up usually in their 30s, looking back, not even realizing what went wrong. Some will choose school jobs, careers, and they're still gonna have fun, but fun will not be the top priority. Now, I would say if you really wanna find out who you are, lay off the substances.
You know why I love men? Because of how much they love their friends and how loyal they are to them. I was at the gym last night, and there were two guy friends just working out together, and they were killing themselves laughing. And I physically was like this, watching them. Like a big old freak. POV, this is me last night. For real, they probably were like, who is this creep looking at us? But it was the most sweet, sincere thing that I've seen in such a long time. There is nothing more supportive than the bros at the gym. The love, the loyalty, you could just feel it in the air. Words of encouragement. They were doing their sit-ups and he was like, yo bro, you just got one more, man. Just one more, just keep going, we got this, we got this. And it just warmed my little heart. In general, I feel like men are so much more loyal and supportive of their friends than women are to each other. There is nothing like a bro bond. The world would just be a better place if more people treated each other with the love and support that two guy friends have for one another. That support, that loyalty, that love,
I know it's something else, isn't it? You ladies should try it sometimes. It feels great, and yes, I know she doesn't belong in this video. Shut up, let me enjoy it. It's Saturday, I'm about to go have a cigar and a jack. So, let me have this one for a change.
Damn boy, I heard you like Animal Crossing. Wow. Who want me? Come on, keep your shirts on.
Oh, my shirt was never about to come off, in fact. I'm gonna go put on a sweater just because I don't even know what I was watching. But my shirt is never coming off now. In fact, I think I'm gonna shower with it. The better question is, who let you out of the straitjacket?
Question time. Have you got a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Are you speaking with somebody right now? Or are you about to go ahead and date somebody but have that pit in your stomach and you just don't know whether or not you should go for it? I feel like Jeremy Carr right now. Well, I have a toxic trait and I always get the answers that I need to know whether to move forward with a guy or not. So this is the kind of answer I get, and I get it quite a lot with this toxic trait of mine. I'm just going to put a green screen up. So here are my results of my toxic trait. I mean, the answers delivered on a plate. This toxic trait works a treat. And let's face it, we are in the month of Halloween. So I'm going to show you how to catch your partner out.
And she did made a part 2. But I'll save you all the trouble, because it's 3 minutes long, and she's saying nothing. All she's saying is, make up a fake friend, make up a friend location, and try to get the man that you're talking to jealous. That's it now. Maybe it's just me, but someone could argue that your toxic trait made you to be a single mother. But again, that's just me. What do I know? She also made a part 4, because you can easily skip part 3. Even though the best fun is when you mix 3 and some together, but again, what do I know? But worry not, she promised that if she becomes TikTok famous, she's here to stay. So probably we're gonna see more of her in the future. I wonder if we're gonna see a no F account in the future as well, but that remains to be seen.
So how come a guy can really want us and really want to make it work and really like us, but then it doesn't work and then we turn around and we see...
So yes, go watch this creator's video if you haven't. But this is why I'm such a firm believer in seasons. I talked about this a little bit on my podcast last week, but sometimes we have seasons with a specific person and sometimes we just have seasons in general. And sometimes we think because the person's putting in the max effort that we should force it and push as hard as we can to try to make it work, when in reality it just isn't meant to work, at least for this time, this season. I feel like our job is just to relax in the season and realize that even if they wanted to, doesn't mean it'll always work out, because it's not the right season.
That makes absolutely no sense. But I'm gonna try it out next time regardless. Next time I get rejected, I'm gonna say, well, winter is coming, so that's why... Oh no, wait. You said that's for pretty girls. I guess I'm gonna wait for the next hot girl summer. Yeah, that makes just about as much sense as everything you said.
If you could have me for 24 hours, and I couldn't say no, what would we do?
Well, let's see. Be at the bank first thing in the morning. As soon as they open walk-in, withdraw some of that OF money that you're making, buy me an Audi and say goodbye, nothing else.
Knowing that I can be this good looking and this single really solidifies to me that it must be something to do with my personality. But I ain't changing.
Well, I guess good for you. Congratulations. But just keep in mind that you will be changing 10 years from now. You will still have the same personality or tweaky, but not the same looks now, if that's going to be a good thing. Or not, it remains to be seen, and we will be seeing that in your future videos.
I was just watching a TikTok, and I didn't stitch it because it made me too angry. Basically, this dating coach was suggesting that if women want success at talking to men at bars, then instead of going up and asking how your night's going, they should go up and say, can I get your help with something? And that line will make 9 out of 10 men receptive, because it's letting them have a win right out the gate. Do you men need more wins? Do you need more wins? Really? Really? That's what it is, huh? Women losing rights in America, all of the above, but what we need to be doing is letting you have opportunities to have more wins. You know what? I'm out. I'm done. It's over. If you need me, I'll be under a duvet with a bottle of vodka. See you never.
Okay, bye-bye. Don't call, don't write. Men need more win. Absolutely. I don't know exactly what rights you're losing, but men can't even speak out anymore. See this right here? TikTok banning misogyny? You're gonna define misogyny. Hopefully you can forgive me if I don't care about you. Oh, and by the way, if you need to be under a blanket with a bottle of vodka by yourself, just so you can put up with yourself, you're not exactly a catch to anyone. So, like I said in the beginning, bye-bye.
I just found out apparently attraction anxiety is a thing. You can get attracted to people because they make you anxious. Bruh. What is wrong with the human brain? Why is it so hard to be happy?
What's wrong with a human brain? Well, it's probably started to lean way too far to the left, when it should be straight in the middle. Why it's so hard to be happy? Well, maybe because the straight in the middle people are looking at you funny, and you hate everyone else. That is not leaning your way.